Hi everyone, like every Thursday we have a meeting together for answering your questions, functional, technical or even sales related, whatever you can ask. There are a lot of things that move all the time around Odoo. New development, version 18.4 is out, a few announcements sometimes. The Odoo experience is going to be the next main event that we will have. I think it's in 2 months, something like this. 18th of September. Yeah, it's like in 2 months. Yeah. So we are going to freeze, I guess, in 1 month and a half, maybe 1 month. So very soon we are going to have what will be version 19 available, and you can already test version 18.4 that was released not so long ago, and we are going to make the demos of today on that version. All right, so as usual, you have the link here of the previous meetings that we have. If you want to rewatch the videos, we started with Arthur to have a quick recap of the 5 most important questions that we have at the end of the meeting. So if you don't have the time to follow it, just have a look at the end of the session, what we discussed. I think that could be a good point to start. What else do we have? I think that for the end of the... Yes, Arthur?
Just so you know, we dropped Twitch streaming.
Yeah, that is done. So yeah, no more done. Twitch. No more Odoo Twitch things.
Yeah, because of the audience.
Yeah, people are mostly on YouTube and LinkedIn anyways. Okay, perfect.
All right.
So no Twitch. Just have to change the platform you are going to watch on if you were on Twitch. I remember a few people, like we had Stefan, we had Marilyn from Australia. We had a few people that were always on Twitch. I hope they will follow us on.
We had Julien as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
A few little robot icon.
Yeah, they're always the same people, and you know them because it's like a smaller group. Yeah. All right, on the agenda, this is what we are going to discuss this month, mainly regular Q&A session. I think that next week it will be with the other Antoine. It will start again with a joke, I suppose. And end of the month, we are going to welcome Winand to discuss electronic invoicing, especially in Europe, but it can be anything about the accounting, because that is the superstar that we have around accounting, and you know him, I guess, always there during the main events, also available, and there to present the accounting during the keynote at the Odoo experience. All right. So we have already a new question. Otherwise, if we don't have anything, I can start with this one. But I see we have a question from someone that is a student, and I would like to learn some tips. I don't know if it was it on YouTube this time? So asking us how we can learn. It's a question that we have regularly on Odoo. So let's say you are not a partner. If you are a partner, I would maybe say something a bit different, because then you can get onboarded by our own consultant. But if you cannot do that, maybe the best way to start is odoo.com/slides. I'm going to again quickly change so that I'm in English instead of French. So that's for your beautiful eyes. It looks better. And then you have a few places where you have quests, and when you go at the main place, you can start having a look at all the videos from top left to bottom right, and you see you have a lot. Maybe not all of them, but most of them until you reach the master classes. Yeah, until you have business cases. Like you see, all the ones are maybe there's one. You see there's a tag Odoo tutorial. You start here, and how many do you have? Yeah, you have this. And it's already a lot of videos, sometimes a bit too much. So what is important is that you go and you do it bit by bit, every day or every week. You spend some time learning this. It's not only about watching the videos, to be honest. If you just watch and you don't do anything, you will be lost and you won't remember. So part of the course that we give to the partners when they want to learn it, what we do is that we say, okay, you are going to have a look at a video, because we don't want to tell you something and ask you to pay for the time. We explain something that is already existing in video. We send you the video, we give an exercise just to see how you can not memorize, but understand what was shown in the video. So we have a suite of exercises that match the content of the video. On this platform, like here in the tutorials, it's mostly video, but redo the things that people are doing inside the videos. That would be a first good step. And there you are going already to learn a lot. Do it conscientiously, pay attention to what is shown, not just like passive learning that won't work. So really, covering this, it's already a good first step. Knowing that also, try to find businesses for which you can already work, because you will never learn as much as when you really have a real challenge that you need to accomplish. So that's the first place. Then if you want to, if you are a partner, I would slightly change my comments to say that you should follow rather the one where you get accompanied by a Odoo on border, and we discuss your project, we discuss a bit more about or your company is working. We discuss methodology aspects and technical aspects that are not shown in the other part. And for this, you can have a look here. We have 3 different courses. We are merging it into one that is here. So the 2 other ones are going to disappear, because we organize the content of the bootcamp/PLO in a better way here. With you see, we have 28 sessions plus lots of extra sessions after that are at the moment unpublished. But this is a place where you start from learning a bit of Odoo tutorial-like, and then you have lots of use case. One use case here, another one there, another one there. And that is a bit more complete in terms of training. That is dedicated to partners. Really, if you are new to Odoo and you want to learn how to, if you want to learn how to learn and how to grasp the different applications that we offer, that's the place you need to go to. All right, from LinkedIn, we have another question. LinkedIn, hello Antoine, hello. My 2 flows in project app. Tasks are created via email address feature. How can I configure an automated rule so that the task is automatically assigned to the responsible salesperson listed for the clients? Oh, that I like. I'm going to answer this one and then we check the second question. By the way, I'm going to do it on that new version 18.4. You see here, let me check because I say 18.4, I think it is. Yeah, 18.4, so brand new. Maybe we'll stumble on new things, I don't know, we'll see. So we have that feature of using the automated rule. Maybe first I should create that email alias or check if we have one. So in debug mode, well, I'm not in debug mode, but usually for having access to the technical things, it's better. Do we have one? No, we have an alias to create journal entries, leads, task here. That's maybe the one, but then it's only for authenticated employees. I will keep it that way. You can know that you can change that so that we don't filter on authenticated employees. And then you see it will be tasks that are not inside a project. So maybe you want to assign them to a project by default. If you want to do that, I'm going to open a quick second thing here so that we can assign a project. Let's go here. There are no project at the moment. I'm going to say email reception. It's not billable at the moment. I'm creating it so that we have maybe something that we would say it's new, assigned, and we'll see maybe done and cancelled, the usual suspects that we are going to get. Let's fold this one. All right. And here, now that we have a project, if I go there in the settings, you see that we have an ID. Of course, it's 1 because it's the first one that we create. And I can say, in fact, the project ID should be 1. Okay. Here you see, you could have a default value and say, let's say, assign me these or user IDs. I don't know which one it is. You could work with something like here, and you would give a list of different people you would like to assign, but then it's fixed. You cannot use, I don't think you can use Python code there, and if you can, it needs to be one-liner. You maybe want to have more control of what you are doing. So what I'm going to do is say, okay, let's create an automated action so that when we aim at project number 1, we try to find let's say the client, and if there's a client, then let's assign automatically the salesperson of that client. By the way, there's already a flow in the reasoning because we say authenticated employees. So if it's a client, technically you shouldn't be able to use that. So I'm going to change it and say everyone. You know that you have different types of things that you can allow. I will take the one that is the most global one. And so if I send a message, and I will do that from my other user here, my favorite Henry guy that I'm always using, blah, blah, blah. And we are going to send a quick email, not to this, but it was to do, I think. How do I know it's to do? Let's go back here. We said to do at PS, like we have the whole address that is here. So it should be working. Testing Odoo insider demand, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe the thing I need to do before pressing enter and sending it would be to go right there and create my contact. It's a brand new database, so I don't have my Henry Keegan guy, I will create again my favorite company with my contact Henry Keegan and the email right there. So if I do this, I'm already also going to add him as a portal access thing, because I know I will use it somehow during one of the next presentations. So let's do that already. Good. So that's what we have. Oh, it's Henry Keegan. And the email address is here. It seems correct. Let's do that and let's send an email. Yes, you see, so it's telling me, hey, you have an account, you can activate it. I can go there and put a password. I'm going to put something so that later I'll be able to, yes, see things related to me. Okay, now I can send this one. I send the email. Let's see. Okay, what's happening here? Do we have a project? We don't have a task yet, so maybe I didn't receive it yet. Let's see. It was just not open, but that's good. Here it is. Now I would like to assign automatically to the person that is behind. So that would be Antoine. Let's see how I can do that. I need first to define that Henry, this guy, should have a salesperson. That would be Antoine. Right there. That's the thing that you asked. Now that we have this, we should have an automated action. I can go in the technical settings. At the very bottom, you have the automation rules, and I can say assign salespeople on tasks. And so it's a project task. That's the object on which we would like to perform some automated application, automated stuff. I will say on create, not during the edition, because after that, maybe you want to change the information. So typically it will be on creation. And we can say maybe extra domain right here, so that we say, okay, it's going only to happen when the project is like this email reception project. So we know if we have lots of other projects, we don't have the same way of triggering stuff. The difficulty here that you will have, and that's where I'm going to struggle a bit, is that we can execute some code. I'm checking if we could use a bit of AI for this. We can try. I'm going to try it because I like to see if we can do that. AI or maybe some computation that we could do and say we don't have the AI here because I didn't install it, but I'm checking if compute will be easy because I will have the assignee. And here, the thing that is complicated is working with one-to-manys. Let's go back to my project, we'll see what I mean, or my task. If I go in debug, that's maybe where people struggle a bit, and I will struggle again. Here you see it's user IDs, and it's even a many-to-many. So how to add stuff in a many-to-many is a bit complicated because you need to use what we call magic numbers. Maybe there's another way to do it. Now, okay, maybe I shouldn't have a look at it like that. Every time I need it, I need to go to the documentation and check in the tutorials, not tutorials, the reference. Where do we have that? Reference here in the ORM, I think, ORM API. Whoop! Sorry. Reference here, ORM API. I think it's many-to-many stuff. Where we have, yeah, that you see those clean delete stuff. I know that since 1 or 2 versions we worked with something different for the creation. Just checking if there's something else I could use. No, computed field. And because here what we are going to do is that we are going to, let me make that bigger for you and for me. What we are going to do is create stuff or update. I need to check. Yeah, it's a tuple stuff where we are going to send the values we want to write on the record. Yeah, and that one, I don't know if that is a change of using other commands for this. One place where maybe this is used is, if I remember well, in the accounting, you see me going through different places because I'm not 100% sure of what's the best way to do this again. I have the feeling that on accounts, so on invoices or sale orders, there are places where I'm going to find how to add lines to it. So let's see account move line. Okay, so it's line IDs. I wouldn't be astonished that we are going to add line IDs. And so adding lines to an invoice. And there I want to see if there's not, okay, we have really a lot of potential matches. So maybe it's not the right way to do it. It's going to be long to find, and I don't remember. There's a create command, or there's something that is command something. That's maybe the one. Command set. That is maybe that what I need. Here it's used to apply cache rounding. Let's see if we have other example of command. Yes, command clear, command set, command create. Yeah. So instead of using magic number, I think that this is the one that is getting used more and more. But I never used it. Command link. Is there another place where we are going to give it the information that we want? Command update. Okay, it looks like something that we would need. But that command stuff, I don't know if we can use it in the in that place. Doesn't look like we can. Maybe one way I could get some inspiration of is this one. I'm going on a demo environment just to check if we don't have already server action that use that to get some inspiration on what would be the best way to do it. So you see lots of browsing just to find the right command that I could use. Okay, so server action. Do we have a small command thing in Python? So let's go and have a look at Python code that we may have written there. Contains command. Do we have this? Okay. Those are updates. Do we have an example here? Yeah, okay. So you see, this is maybe what I need. We are going to write and set some information. I'm going to try to reproduce this one. Let's see if that can be used. So where is my action? Oh, right here, execute code. Let's try this one, making this bigger. So on the record, I'm going to write, and I'm going to say it's user IDs, command set, and it's not the failure IDs. I need to put the one of the current person. So if we have a client that is identified, so and that is not that easy, by the way. If record, we would have partner ID, then, only then, and the partner ID as a salesperson, partner ID dot user ID. Only then we are going to write on the record and adding some stuff. And let's see if this works. Huh? If you want to see that, you know that sometimes you want to test a few things like raising an error, saying, well, giving the record partner ID, user ID, oops, dot name, just to check before we commit to that. No, it's not going to work. The moment at which this is going to get executed, sorry, is the moment at which the task is created, and it's not induced by the user. It's done automatically because you have a setting, and so you won't see that error. So if this one you feel like, okay, but I would like to have some kind of log, you can use this. You see, instead the user error works best when you are doing the stuff inside Odoo. Otherwise, that log would work. That's going to make this work, unless we have a mistake here. Oh yeah, there's a if missing. Okay, We save and we retry. Or we create a task manually so that you don't have to send the email to make it work, because I'm going to create it manually with the same conditions. That's not the database. Let's remove those ones. So let's go in my project. I see tasks here. I'm going to create a new one, and I'm directly here. That's going to bother me, because you see, if I'm doing this, I'm not able to put the client information, so I'm going to see if I cannot create a new one from the form view. So it's a bit problematic here. I see I don't have the partner information. That is potentially because my project is not linked to a partner in particular. Let me check. Email alias. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah. Then, yeah, you have to make it billable to see the customer information. At least that's the way it works by default. I'm going to use this as a shortcut, but otherwise, maybe you don't want to make it billable and just have the ability to select a partner. The thing is that if you do this, not putting a customer, do we have access to that field? Yeah, we have access to it now on the task. So quick thing just to see the customer, otherwise you use Studio and you show the customer field, but maybe that was better. All right, so let's go back to the task. Let's create a new one, test 2, and I'm putting the Henry guy here. Oops, something is wrong. What is it telling me? Yes, I used failure. It's still there. That's from my copy pasting stuff. Let's check. Yeah, that should be this one. I don't know if that will work with the IDs thing. Should I work with just ID? That is also another place where I have a doubt. Let's retry it. No, it didn't work. You see here, assignees is still there. Bothering me here is that now I did that. I need to create a new one every time I want to test. So I'm going to slightly change this to not on create, but on create and edit. And disregard the different filters so that it's faster for my testing. Would I have to do this and say IDs instead? User IDs. Let's see. Two things. Changing test 2 to test 3. Still not working. Let's have a look at if at least I logged something. And that's the little log thing that we have. It's in the database structure logging. And you see I have a few things. So apparently this is giving me some information and it's telling me message Antoine Nouvel. Good. That is me. And that is the value that I'm asking to output in my test right there. So it means that we log stuff. So this is happening. It's just that we don't write correctly on the model. So let's see if that is correct. And it's user IDs. It's user IDs. So apparently what is missing is my command here where I'm setting stuff. Apparently this one is not exactly what I need. So I need to find another way to do that. I don't know if it's command set or command create. I can have a look at if we have something like this command command.create. Yeah. But I don't have any example here. I don't know if that is correct. We're going to check more. Come on, guys. Command.create. A few examples we may have. Okay, here that's when we are going to. Yeah, that's the definition of it. No, not that definition. Sorry. We have here we create, but at the same time. I need to find the right way to do this. Okay, we have an example here on the website event. Here when we create, we give information that is the boost. Okay. So we give extra value, but here, do we need to give extra value? It exists already. That is where I'm not good. Because I'm going to make a test not being sure of what I'm doing, and that usually it's really something you shouldn't do. Yeah, okay, this one not working either. So model right. Oh, I'm saying model, not record. That is also something I should have done. Let's go back here. My test was not good. Let's redo it. Ah, good. Okay, it's telling me something wrong, which usually is a good sign we are making some progress. Int object not iterable. Okay, that is correct. Let's see if this I can give it, because now it's an array instead of just one ID. Yeah, working, good. So that's the thing. My error was mainly here. I don't remember what was there. We can have a look at, where was I? Here. Yeah, I was still on model.create instead of reusing my record that was already existing. So quick thing here, difficult part is dealing with one-to-manys. In the demonstration I made, I think that 3/4 of the time was used just to find that way of doing. And again, I would say familiarize yourself with that command.set or the different things that already exist in terms of other commands. You will find some literature here. You see command identifier constant named. That was another way. Well, it is a new way to perform these different actions. If you want to find it or some examples, apparently you can simply go in the code and use things like here, command.create or command.set. You're going to find a few examples. Again, I would prefer this to be reviewed by someone else, because I'm not always 100% sure that this is the best command that we can use. But with my knowledge, I think that would be sufficient for now for that flow. Now we did it here. Let's see if this works also when we send an email, because that is the ultimate goal. It is going here and yeah, password changed. Okay, I sent something. We can resend it. Second test, and we'll see if it reaches Odoo. Okay, that I don't care so much. Here, let's go back in my Odoo. Email reception. Do I have a third task? I don't, and it's usually a bad sign. Ah, no, it's good. Because a bad sign would be if you don't receive a task while you were receiving it before, it would have meant that there's an error in the action that you have, and that this error prevents the task from being created. So let's have a look, and in fact, let's not have a look. Here you see I'm already assigned to it. So if I go there, this task creation made by Henry, you see that automatically I'm the assignee. So that would work. That would be the first flow that you asked, dear person. I don't know, I think it was on LinkedIn. Following the same logic, when a project and its related tasks are automatically created from a SO, is it possible to implement a similar assignment rule for assignee? Yes, that would be a slightly different one way of doing this. We can do that here. If record partner ID, but then this would work the same way, because the partner ID on the record would be set. So with this code execution, you would get the same result. Here, compared to, well, the first, let me rephrase that, sorry. Assigning salespeople on task would work whether it is created automatically through the email alias feature, or if you do it from the sale order creation, because the condition here will be respected in both cases. The only thing that would have made it different or more complicated is that if I had kept the first domain here, that was a project, that was in this case this. If you do that, potentially it doesn't work if your product is defined as create a new project every time I sell something, because then it's not email reception, and so you wouldn't have a domain that match the new project that you create. But globally, that is the one we can keep. And I think that it's a good example of what can be accomplished on the SaaS with a bit of knowledge on Odoo. Okay, we switch to another question. And thanks a lot, by the way. The first one was quite good and a good exercise on the server actions. Good morning. Is it possible to have a different sequence for a quote and sale order, as in when converting it to AB? Okay. So you say quote should have one sequence, order should have another one. Let's try. Not in standard, but it's a good example of things that we can do with automation rules. Let's have a look at that. So, by default, Odoo generates a name. Let's go there so that you know what's happening. If I go here, I select a customer, I don't even put a line, it doesn't need to. You have a name that is here. This one is taken from a notion that we call a sequence in Odoo, and that sequence is to be found here. And if you type sale, you will find the sale order sequence. It starts with an S, and the next number is 2 because the first one is already taken here. If you want to use a different one and use a quote at the beginning, I could say Q here, save, and next one, if I duplicate, then it's Q number 2, because of course then I'm still keeping the next number. Okay, so that is for the sale order, and we are going to keep it on Q for the default one, because that's how Odoo operates. So next time Q3, perfect, good. Now if I want to change that, I could use a different sequence code and ask Odoo to rewrite on the sale order name when we do this. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to create a new sequence, or can I duplicate this one? Yes, I can. Sale order confirmed. So I'm changing this slightly, and I'm going to say it will be sale, and this time I keep. What you want to have though is the possibility to change the next number to exactly the same number. So it's going to change from Q3 to S1 potentially. Okay. I know that S1 is already taken, so I'm already moving to number 2. Okay, so we have here sale order confirmed. The only thing that I need to do is say now that when we confirm, so when we move from some status here to sale order, I am going to change the name. And that can be done, change sequence to order sequence. All right, and it's going to be happening on sale order. And we do that, usually it's on creation and edit. If it moves, I'm going to only to select edit in that case, because I'm going to specifically say that when it's moving from status is in quotation and quotation sent, and when we move to status is in here sales order. So when we do this, we are going to change a sale order from quotation or quotation sent to this one. It's match all. Yeah, it's weird here because I have quotation or quotations. Not okay. No, in. That is better. I was feeling like there was a problem because I had 0 records here while I should have had some. Okay, so when we move one from here to there, let's perform something. And that perform something would be some code execution. That is here, I think it is something on the sequence itself. So it's on the environment, and I'm going to select the sequence. Let's try my new sequence. I think there's something that is called next by code. I don't remember if it's just this next by code, and we give it the code that was this one. I kept it in my copy paste. I don't know if there's a underscore because it's a private method or not, but I will say if we have a sequence, then record.write, and we are going to write the new name there. A new name would be sequence. Let's see if that works. I'm not sure about next bytecode, but let's try. And next bytecode, I'm going to show you how to find it, because of course that's the biggest thing in the demonstration. If this works, you'll be like, okay, but how do you find next bytecode? I'm going to show you that if this works. Let's go back and let's put a product here, whatever. Yeah, booking fees. Okay, let's confirm. And it's sale order number 2. Cool, this is working. So, and please have a look at the fact that for once I didn't have an error at the beginning. It went straight away to the right expectations. So I'm quite astonished. So let's enjoy it with a sip of coffee. And then explain you how to get the next bytecode. In fact, you need to know a bit of how things are articulated around Odoo. Sequence is usually something that you discover quite early in your way of learning. So if you feel like, okay, I know how this gets generated, it's a notion of sequence, you can go on the sequence and try to find here on the form a few places where you feel it could be used for the sequence, for the generating the sequence. Usually notion of codes like this one are more structured and limited than just names. Names, it's usually a char. We don't use names for finding information. Usually we're going to use more like things like codes or XML IDs. So this should be a good one to find that, okay, we have a code notion related to sequences. If I'm going to look for code, that's going to be difficult because if I go there in Odoo and I say code, my God, I think that, not there. If I go here and say code, you're going to find like lots of files. It makes no sense. So maybe it's better to have a look at the IR sequence stuff. So what can help you is IR sequence, and see where we talk about that. You see we have a bit of things here, and then you find that you have even IR sequence.py. So that's a place where it gets defined. So that's maybe where we should have a look. Another possibility to find that place would have been to go, let's go back to that main place and say IR sequence. I would have found it as well. Usually when you look for the name of a model, chances are that, are quite high that the name of the file would be the name of your model. So let's have a look at this one, and you see there are a few things about the sequence, but now I can maybe in a safer way look for code stuff and see where we will be headed. And okay, already the first few lines I can see that next bytecode is right here, and it's telling me, okay, we are going to see if we can find a sequence that contains that code for that sequence code that I'm giving, and the sequence code is this one. And thanks to that, it's going to tell me, pay attention here, it's on the same company. If there's a company, wait, where is it? I'm not in multi-company mode, but if you have a company field, that should be right here, I think, if you are. So it's going to take the company into account. And if there's a sequence code that matches the code that you want, you can use that next bytecode. A bit of search in the code will help you. Of course, I'm going a bit fast here, but those are the kind of things that step by step you will see and learn. So here it is possible to have that sequence being changed when you validate the sell order. Very good second exercise right here. Another question from LinkedIn. And those are the ones that are quite difficult to show live. LinkedIn saying, please, how to use VoIP for making call on Odoo because however it is installed, not working. This is almost impossible to fix directly here. I can give you a bit of information maybe, but the only place where I could go to show it works is going on our own Odoo environment. I can try to maybe call myself from Odoo and show you on my cell phone, but it's not going to solve your issue at the moment on the VoIP. So usually when people have troubles with VoIP, I would say go on the documentation, and globally, do we have something here? You are going to have some tutorial, and let me check. Yeah, let's go there. You have video explaining how to do it, but most of the time you have a bit of configuration with here Axivox, and otherwise that is it. Here you have on SIP as well. Usually what we say is that we support all the different players on the market that use WebSocket SIP, I think. So I'm going to install a VoIP just to show that. VoIP right here. Yeah, all right. Do we have, VoIP CRM on SIP? So that's with SIP. I'm going just to stop at a VoIP once it's installed. It is already. VoIP, do we have something here? Let's refresh. Waiting a few seconds. VoIP providers, okay. There we have a default one. So you see, you will have to send the IP and the WebSocket. So those are information that you receive from from the person you are, well, not the person, the company you are using for sending your call while going through their service. And those two parameters would be enough in addition to what you have on your profile. right here, because you have some VoIP thing that you need to select, and have a username and secret so that we know your user, me connected with Antoine. I'm going to through this provider with that username and secret, and it's going to make this work. So have a look at those settings just to see if your username, secret, and provider are okay. And potentially, if you cannot make it work, give us a call through the support or through the partner services so that we can help you. But here, not knowing the VoIP integrator that you use and not being able to test, it's going to be almost impossible to go further than this in terms of help. But that's the place to start. If everything like this is configured on your side, contact us. LinkedIn second question is saying, do you have any plugins that can integrate with a standalone POS system for payment processing, specifically for handling orders where customers pay on delivery? Yes. So if you go and have a look at another place where you can find that, in addition to the apps, we can type POS here, and you're going to see, do we have payments? Yeah, Adian here. Do we have another one that we mention explicitly? Resorpay right here. Do we have other Viva? That's maybe a wallet system. So you have a few where you have extra payment 6 here as well. So you have already a few. Tyro, I don't know, but it could be. Yeah, terminal payment, so that is it. But pay on delivery or not, it doesn't change. POS Stripe, so you have the Stripe configuration here. So to make it work with payment terminal. So now, what you say is POS system for payment processing. You didn't mention that it should be through a terminal, but I would guess it is through a terminal. And if it's on pay on delivery, I guess that you deliver and you have a terminal. In that case, wait a second, because the example I was thinking of would be more like takeaway. People go to the shop and they pay you on the spot, and so you have the terminal. If it's on delivery, I wonder if you don't have those little mobile terminal that would still work, and you can open your POS on your smartphone. But you need a payment terminal that works without IoT box, because of course with a smartphone you are not going to have an IoT box. So I need to check the ones that we have here that work without IoT, and usually you have some that we support. I'm going in the documentation here, but I think that on odoo.com you are going to find it as well. Apps, if you go on POS restaurant or shop, are we going to find the different terminals that we support? Somewhere not there. Let's find another one in POS shop. I'm just checking if we have other places where it could be. No. Okay. Features. Okay, maybe not there. Yeah, payment terminals here, but would be with the POS. So let's try payment methods terminals. Okay, let's see if we have. Yeah, do not require an IoT box. So this one would work. In Genico, I'm not sure in Genico we still support it, but requires an IoT box. So Adian could work. Because you don't need an IoT box, and so I suppose that you could make it work with your smartphone. I'm not 100% sure, but I would suppose it. And so you can check the ones for which you need an IoT box or not. So go to that place. That would be maybe the best way. I'm not 100% sure of my advice because I never tested it myself, and I don't like that, not being sure. But I suppose it would be working. But you can test it. So if you already have the setup being done and you want to quickly see, hey, is it working with Adian? Create a test account. The only place where I think that it could fail is that your smartphone cannot communicate with your payment terminal, but I don't see why it wouldn't work, since already with tablets, with Odoo opened, that is supposed to work. So I suppose this should work. Okay, what else do we have? Next one is the one below in a kit bill of material. Why do we still see the operation tab even though we say that a kit bomb is not used in production? Good question. I don't know, because there you seem to say, tell me the reason why it was developed that way. And usually I don't have the reason why. I don't have it, but we can maybe try to find where it could fail if we hadn't done it that way. So let's see. So what you say is let's add this because it's the operation that we talk about in the work orders. So I'm adding that here. And let's go back now and see manufacturing. If I'm creating a new bill of material, I'm going to create a new product, BOM product. That is it. Yeah, goods, track inventory. Yes. Okay, let's add a new component and create a raw material product. One. Creating it, it should be a goods. Yeah, it's the same. And raw material product 2. Okay, we need one quantity of each. That's right. And then we say, but it should be a kit, and we still have the operations. So let's try to put here a fake operation in a work center that is work center number 1. Maybe you want still to account for the time that it takes to, I don't know, take the components, put them in a box, and that is at a cost. Maybe that's the reason why. But let's see what happens with the operation when I'm creating a manufacturing order. If I'm saying here, BOM product, we have it. Okay. Wait, because I don't have the components while. Yeah, okay, good. BOM product here, manufacturing order. I think it's a confirmation. Yeah, no, it's true. It's not going to put them here because usually it's only used at the moment where we sell it. Let's remove this one. Let's go in sell order, sell my product to Henry. Okay. BOM product. Confirm. We have the delivery, and we deliver the 2 raw materials. And it's true that here, if I go in my manufacturing, I'm not going to have anything being mentioned because that is the one I cancelled. It's a good question. Maybe it should be something that we can, if we are not going to use it, maybe we should hide it. That is true. Let's go in the operation and see if we have something that is mentioned. Yeah, not produced with a manufacturing order, so it makes indeed there's no real reason for having operations there. Maybe we should hide it. Let's check if there's a something here where we should say it should be hidden in the views. So the operations things. So we can have a look at operations name here on the form view of the bill of materials. So it should be MRP BOM. Yeah, that's where it's mentioned. We have operation somewhere. Page string operation, yeah, invisible. Yeah, it's weird because we are going to hide it when it's so you see, we are going to make it invisible when it's not a normal or a phantom BOM. Phantom is kit. The last thing is subcontracting. So apparently we did it on purpose, but I cannot tell you why. There must be a reason, because otherwise usually when we explicitly tell it that way, it means that we thought about it, but I cannot find a reason why. Now that we have this, if you really want to, we can have a look at something that is maybe a good way to try to find a reason. We go on my favorite tool, that is GitHub at the moment. We look for that piece of information, and maybe this one is going to be enterprise. because work orders are in enterprise? No. Okay, I need to find a better way to arrive there. So field name operation ID. So let's try to find this one. What I'm trying to find is the place where it is defined. Yeah. Here, better search or not? Nope. I'm going to change that differently. I'm going to take this one, so we have the external ID. What I'm looking for is the file where this gets defined. It's an XML place, inherit, blah blah blah. Is it the one? No, it's the base view that we want. But it's in our MRP. MRP is views, BOM views. That's the one. And we can have a look at the place where we define the operations. That components, blah blah, operations here. That's the one. But we can see, okay, it was already the case. Here it's version 18 that I'm having a look at, while here I'm on 18.4, so there would be a potential difference between both. What I see is that already in 18, this didn't change. So I can have a look at who did that. And in order to do so, it's on line 119. There's that thing that is blaming. Blaming, I don't like it because sometimes it's not like blame, but we have someone that did it, and we can have a look at who did that. It was 2 years ago, so it has been a long time. It's that way, and we can check if there is an explanation given in the reason why it was changed, and there. So we need to find the right view, because here that place we have a lot of different files, and I'm interested in just one file in particular. Can we? Yeah, we can filter. Let's filter on the BOM views. That's the one that I want, and I would see how it was changed. Okay, it's a bit long. Where was it changed? Line 100 and something. Tac. Is it somewhere here? Yeah, it was already that way before. So we just changed. So that is a good thing. We changed the way it was written, but already before that it was the same meaning. So changing from here to there is just technical change, just to reflect the fact that we don't use the ATTRS attribute anymore. That was from versions ago. But so it means that it was already like this back in version 16. So it has been years it's like that. So what you can do is redo the same. So let's go back a bit and try to blame even before. You'll see where I want to get there. So here I'm changing, and I will go maybe on version, if it was 2 years ago, 16 or even 15 should have been like that already. So we can have a look at version 15. And let's try to find around the same place operation IDs, was it? Yeah, that is here. We have it there on that line this time. Let's blame again. And that was 5 years ago. Work order on change, is it the right one? Operation IDs, yeah, okay. Let's try to see that. It changed, but how did it change? Here and before that, it was already the same, so we need to go back even one step. There's maybe a way to to go faster than what I'm doing right now in order to find the blame. But potentially this one was always like that. Let's go back a few versions again. Okay, so the same but on version maybe 13. Operation IDs. IDs. Okay, there we didn't have that. Wait a sec. Options, blah 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 blah. Okay. So I'm going back to the code. So apparently there we didn't have that in that place. My way of doing here would be to try to find the place where we would have the blame so that we see who did that, because usually in what they do, there is an explanation of why we added it. So let's try to find another time in version 14, because I think that's cool to try to guess and understand why people do stuff. Version IDs, do we have it there? Yes. Okay, it was already like this. Let's have another try at this one. So apparently it's between 13 and 14 that it changed, but that is the same blame that we had. So I need to find a way where this to know where this line has been added. It was obviously before those 5 years because we saw that it was already existing with that blame. I'm going to show you how you can pursue this thing further so that I'm not losing more time now. But the idea is the following. When you see that and this one, you can see on a commit that we changed the way of doing. And that would have been if we saw that this would have changed into this, we see that it's the same thing. But usually when you do that, you have an explanation here that says, okay, why we did it that way. The thing is that we will need to check for a change that was before that date in the commits so that we finally find all the blaming on that that line and see how it evolved. But then it would mean that I would have to go through intermediate version between, so it is here 13 and 14. So it would take a while, but it looks like it's something that was added as such right from the start. So maybe we are not going to even find the reason. What matters here is if you want to know something, or not know something, but try to guess why the developer did it that way. Usually it will be explained in the commit message, and in order to find the commit message, you can blame some lines and try to find where it was changed. That's what I meant. Here it's not a huge success, but it could be simply because that has always been like this at the moment of the creation of that attribute. And so this could explain why we cannot find what interests us. Okay, that's it for this question. Let's move on to another one. Here we have on YouTube, the new follow-up methods I understand. How do you send statement using automation to send statement on positive owning amount on the 1st of every month? Let's have a look, because you seem to understand something that I don't. With the follow-up methods, I don't know exactly how they changed. So let's have a look at follow-up levels. So we have every 15 days. You would like to automate it on the 1st of every month. The thing is that the way you want to do it, I'm not sure you can achieve it that way, because telling you what I can see on the screen is the following. We have a scheduled action. The scheduled action runs every now and then, and that would be maybe this one. If I look for follow-up, yeah, let's execute the follow-up things. It's sent, it's done every day, and if you want to see what is being done there, you can click and have a look at in GitHub what is being done in that action that is cron execute follow-up. But what I can guess is that here we would have on this one the possibility to make it automatic, because that I'm pretty sure that we check it there. But the issue is that we don't have 1st of the month. We have X days after the due date. Now, the way you can make this work would be to arrange yourself so that every invoice needs to be paid end of the month, so that the next day after the due date is the 1st of the month. That would work in that specific case, but otherwise you need to change and change the amount of days here and rework slightly this method so that you could have the 1st of the month. Other possibility, but then it's I'm not sure it's a good one, because we are moving aside from the follow-up thing that we have here. It would be to go and create your own way of doing with a new scheduled action that checks, are we the 1st of the month? Or you don't do that. It's just let's have a look. Oh. You could create something like would be an account move, because those are the invoices. It's not even correct because then if you do it on the journal entry, you are going to send one message per potential invoice. Somebody that has 3 invoices whose due date was in the past, and you send it on the 1st of next month, you are going to send 3 emails, and usually you want to regroup them. It depends, but if you want to regroup them, then it's better to work with that notion of follow-up level. But okay, so you could say here, if you don't want to regroup, you execute every month, and we say an execution date would be next month, and you go and you create a send message here. You don't even have to execute code. I think you could rather, but with the scheduled action, you don't have the choice of code execution. You would have to here select the template and send it to the person with a bit of code. I don't like that too much, simply because this one tends to move away from the follow-up levels here that are done already, for which everything exists, but the date. So if you can find a solution with after due date, that would work best. Yeah, that is it. That's what I would advise. And YouTube again. Hi, if my database is full, is there any way to fix it in Odoo way? It depends what you mean by full. I don't know what you mean, but there's one thing that you cannot see, I think, is the weight of the database. We have access to that information. I don't know if you do. Let's have a look at my database stuff here, because if I go on this one, do we see? No, it's only if I download it that I will know the weight that it is. You see, I click download, it will propose me to download the thing, and now it's downloading right here, and I will see, yeah, it's 26 megabytes. All right, so that I have the weight, but full on the SaaS means 100 gigabyte, I think. Let me check, because I think that's what we have somewhere. No, looking for this won't work because it's 2 different strings. Nope. Do we have do limit? Not there. I found it like 2 days ago. So limit storage Odoo online. Yeah, even the AI knows it. Storage limit for documents. No, it's not that one. It's somewhere in the documentation that we have this. So yeah, good. Closed storage. In fact, it's a new module that you propose. And there we explain Odoo Online maximum space for your environment, discounts, database, and file store is 100 gigabytes. On Odoo SH, depending on if you are on shared hosting or dedicated, it's those are the amounts. Knowing that we need to check there if we take into account the duplications, but anyway, it's far higher on Odoo SH. But let's imagine you reach that amount. 2 solutions. I am pretty sure that this amount, you don't reach it through your database. Most of the size is usually taken by the file store, so the files that you add to Odoo. And those files, you would say, let's not store them on Odoo, because Odoo is maybe, it's not meant to store a large amount of files for cheap. So the best way that you can do is say, okay, my large files, I'm going to store them outside of Odoo servers. And that is possible since version 18 and the version after, so all the SaaS version, is to use the cloud storage integration. We support at the moment Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure, and you can have a look at those modules. It's easy to configure on Odoo side. It's more like on Azure side that I know you need to change access rights. But if you type Azure here and you remove that, you will see Cloud Storage Azure. I'm installing it. You will see how easy it is on Odoo. Let's close that. And so if you say, my database is full, I suppose that's what you mean, but I'm not sure. So can you tell me more about what you mean full on Odoo? Because really that is going to be something that is, yeah, maybe having different meanings. So let's go back on Odoo. Now that I have my Azure stuff. If you go in the settings, if you type Azure, you won't find it because it's a setting, but cloud storage, yeah. And there you can find Azure storage, and then you put different containers, tenant, clients, different information, and there it says above 20 megabytes we move it to another place. This can be found in terms of information here. That is Google first, and then Azure. So we tell you where to find each and every argument of this. So follow the information here, and you'll get it right. We already have a lot of clients using it, because it was, if not expected, I think it's a good way to reduce a bit the cost of the hosting when you're on USH, among other things. Plus, it means that you can also share those documents from Azure to other systems. So that's what I would advise you to do. Sorry for the coughing. Another question on YouTube. Can I use Odoo to develop a gynecology clinic management system? I suppose yes. I would need to know what are the specifics. But like any clinic, I guess it would be based on appointments, sending invoices, reminders. So have a look, because I don't think it would be that different than what we have here in appointments. Appointments on demo, because appointments on demo you have dental care. So to me, when you say that, the appointment module would be clearly something that you want to use. And if I'm going to duplicate this one and just use that, you will see how it looks like, booking appointments. So that's one of the things that maybe you want to have on your website. Say, okay, I'm going to work with that dentist, and you book your thing here, depending on the type of operation that you need. Then you would have maybe some accounting. Is there anything you need? Or contact management, maybe a bit of knowledge. I don't think that you, maybe the stock as well, purchase and barcode, if you need to know what kind of medicine that you have and you want to manage it with Odoo, that would work. Specifically, also, now you mention it, I'm wondering if that's some kind of thing that we have in the industry of Odoo. It's industries. Do we have something that would be similar? IT hardware, law firm, photography. Yeah, there's nothing related to. No, I was going to think hospital because I saw hospitality, but it's nothing like that. Yeah, I was having a look at here if we have something around the services. Many more. Let's have a look at them. Nothing that looks like a doctor's thing or not, but I'm going to make a comparison here. It is close to Hair Salon, where you need to book a meeting. You have products that you want to track in your stock. I'm curious about other things that would need to be done. Potentially some specific papers that need to be printed, but that you know that any kind of development could allow you to change the PDF that you output from Odoo. So I guess that's also where if you need to create certificates or things like that, or on paper, that's also something that you would have to create on your own. Doable on the SaaS as well, but I guess it would be close to this kind of services. Okay, another question on YouTube. I have a question. In Odoo, we have predefined group roles. Yes, but they do not fit my need. I want to be able to specify the roles even more. Example below, I have the inventory manager. I cannot create a product unless I give the user a sale or purchase group role. Then you need to change the access right. And it reminds me of something that is super good. Have a look at this one, because there we have something where, let me check, where we discuss the access right. Yes, this one, have a look. We discuss all of that. I would say if you want to learn the access right, there are two videos that are really, not that I like them, but I know they are super useful. Not saying that they are good because I did it myself. It's more like saying, have a look at this when you want an introduction on access right, and there's another one after on importing and exporting data. Those are really things that you need to know in Odoo, because you are going to use that so much. It's always the same way of working. Now, if you need to change that, what you can do is have a look at a user, like here. That is, so we say on your side, you cannot, as an inventory manager, you cannot, and I will say manager is admin, you cannot create product. Okay, so you can just manage the inventory but not create product. But that means that apparently what we do have is that in the inventory, there must be a few things that tell you that you can. So let's have a look at the group and let's check the inventory stuff. one of those two, maybe the admin, has access rights on products. Let's see. Product blah blah blah. Okay, we don't product move product attribute. Okay, we don't have it here, so maybe it's not on the admin, but it is on the user. So let's have a look at the product on the user. Yeah, but have a look. Product user, product variants, they can read but not create. Yeah, but that is already working that way, in fact, because I can see that here, in terms of product, you don't have access rights there. Another check I can make is access control list, access rights. Have a look at product.template or product.product. I will start with template. Here, let's see all the groups that can create, and we see we have, now that's maybe different from your version. Cool, because I created a new database in version 18.4, and remember last week we saw differences between 18.3 and 18, and I think that this one is also different. Not sure though. This is part of another group, and this means you can fine-tune, even as an inventory manager or not, who can create product or not. Let's have a look at version 18, because I'm curious knowing if this works the same way. So I'm just going quickly there. I'm going to open this one in debug, and we see here if in the access rights, do we have something like this? Product.template. Was it already the case? Okay, of course I have far more. Okay, there are lots of groups. Yeah, an inventory admin. Okay, so you see between version 18 and 18.4, that way of choosing who can create what changed. If you are on this side and you don't want to do this, you could do that and uncheck it. A good thing is, if I have a look here at this one, there's something particular here is that I would like to show that this particular XML ID now we change the way it works. As you change here a default access right of Odoo, you want to be sure that the next time there's an upgrade, you are not going to rewrite on this. And usually, so let's find the XML ID of that thing. I could export and say this so that I export it. All right. And the XML ID of this is the following. That is the ID. And let's have a look at the XML ID. So to see if it changed. And external identifier. External identifiers, yeah. All right, this is the one. And if I go here, it's not done automatically. So now that I did that, I maybe don't want it to be updated later. So I could do this so that next time, at least, Odoo is not going to rewrite on that stock thing with the external identifier. So if I go back to my access rights and I make the same check, product template it was, here, and we go on the create access. I removed it, so I will need to find the correct one. It's one of the it must be inventory admin. That's the one I changed, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. So that one now is not going to be changed through the next update of Odoo, because I told him explicitly that the XML ID here, if we find it inside the XML files of our modules, don't overwrite what we have. So I believe through your question that you are on version 18 or before and not on 18.3 or 4, since we changed the way of working, apparently to something that you would prefer. So good improvement overall, since that is what you are looking for. Next question on YouTube. What is the minimum server spec for on-premise 20 users, small size company? It's really hard to answer that one. It's a question that we have regularly on this show, how to size a server. It's complicated because 20 users in one case is not 20 users in another case, and I'm going to tell you about our own Odoo. If I have a look, I'm going to give you the most up-to-date information about our own Odoo environment by having a look, not on your screen, but on mine. having a look at how many employees we have. At Odoo at the moment, we are 6,200 employees at Odoo, which is quite massive. We are all on the same database. We work together on our Odoo.com environment. That Odoo.com environment also supports millions of visits every day, not millions every day, millions every month. So we have lots of load that is put on our server, but at least among the 6,000 employees that we have employees from Hong Kong, from Australia, from Dubai in the Middle East, in Kenya, we have it, so you see in the US, so lots of different time zones. So when we talk about that amount of users, we need to know when they are going to use Odoo, and also because they have different time zones, but also during the day, so that you create an average and maybe some top thresholds that you have per hour of the day, just to see, because maybe 20, you'll never have more than 10 people using it at the same time. So already it limits the amount by 2. On our side, 6,000 employees, maybe I would be surprised that we have more than 4,000 or 3,000 that are going to use it at the same time, thanks to the different time zones. Especially since, luckily in that aspect, we have 3 big time zones, well, not time zone, but 3 big places where we have lots of employees, in the Americas, in Europe and Africa, and then in APAC. So those are 3 different moments of the day, so it really allows us to limit this. But it's a particular case, but you get the point. It's about knowing how many users you have at which time. If you're interested about knowing more how to size it, remember, I'm going to type workers here because I think that the workers discussion, we have it here somewhere, system configuration. Yeah, on-premise. You go in database management on-premise and you are going to have a few places where we explain the settings. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to tell you how to configure the memory. And also the amount of workers. So the rest would be, I suppose, yeah, and you have an example here on how to set up correctly the configuration. So it's not only about the machine that you're using, it's also about the configuration that you will have after in terms of Postgres, RAM that is allocated, the workers that you want to use, if you use the live chat or not. Those kind of things. But apart from that, for the type of server and the type of, let's say, processor that I would be unable to tell you, I suppose that's something that is quite recent online would help you. Maybe take some solution, because you say on-prem, so I would suppose that on-premise, people sometimes use that word but it's incorrect. They say on-prem, but they use Amazon or they use Google. If you do that, if you use Google Cloud Platform or OVH, do you have other possibilities to grow in terms of computer that you need, depending on if you see it's fast enough? So that is good. If you need to buy the server yourself, of course you need to be doing your own study on that. But there, that's where my knowledge would stop in terms of what is type of rack that you need to use, type of processor. The RAM would be there in terms of amount, but processor and the rest, or the hard disk drive, that I really don't know. And usually, that's I know people don't like that when I'm saying this, but if you don't know, it's maybe better not to do it, because then it's only the first few questions, scratching the surface on what we need to buy. But if you don't know that, potentially there are lots of things that you won't know after on how to configure it properly. So that's why I would say try to get some expertise on this, knowing that 20 users is not that much. So I'm not expecting here a machine that is crazy expensive. But anyway, you can maybe check with the existing partner network who does that for a living, because that is important when you are on-prem. Lots of other things you need to take care of, network administration, admin system, what I mean, things related to security. So really important to consider as well, not only the size of the machine, but if it's not a real on-prem, use one of the solutions, or I was mentioning Amazon, Google, or any other. DigitalOcean could be another one. We have lots of companies that propose that. I was navigating the other day Reddit, and I see lots of ads on Odoo of people that claim they do hosting online. Potentially there you can have a look at if it makes sense or not, also in terms of cost. All right, next question on YouTube as well. I also want to know how own can I apply group top action and view, because though we have a group field in the action, they do not apply. I'm not sure what you mean, but I suppose you're talking about this. You have an action, so we go there. You have an action and you added a group somewhere. Where do we have that? Visibility privilege, yeah, that. I guess that's what you mean. That should work though, because those visibility privileges mean that you cannot have access to it otherwise. Now you say this, maybe you have access to this. You have access to the menu item, and you say, I would like to make that action only visible to a specific group. I'm going to select a group that I don't have, giving you an example. So let's go on my user. Is there a group that I don't have over there? I'm pretty sure in the technical groups, manage packages. I'm going to use this one, and I'm saying, okay, privilege. Do we have managed packages somewhere? Yes, okay. Only that person can see it. I suppose that's what it means. Yeah. Let's retry now the quotation thing. Right here. Yeah, you see, I still have access to it, but maybe let's go back here in debug mode. Let's check. Is it the right action? Visibility, yeah. Okay. Then I'm curious, but maybe I should rather hide the quotation menu item. Let me check that. Menu item. Menu editor, not that's a website I don't want. Yeah, that's the one I want. Quotations. That would be this one. And maybe that's where you want to make it only visible to not own documents, but packages. Let's see if I still have access to it. Ah, yeah, I do. Ah, no, yeah, that's because I was on it before. But now if I go back here, you see I don't have the quotation. I see orders, but not quotations. So that works, but I'm still, anyway, I'm still astonished that I could see it. Otherwise, I'm going to reuse still, going back to the same setting, the initial one. I'm astonished that this one is not, in terms of visibility, making it impossible for me to see it. Implied groups, no. I'm curious because indeed I would expect the action not to be usable since I have a group here. That is, I don't know why. I would expect as you to have quotation that is visible because we have the menu item now that is back as visible, but that when I click on it, the action is not selectable. There must be something in terms of action that make it visible otherwise. Maybe it's because we have a menu item linked to it, so we can have a look at access rights just to know that. So apparently access rights IR action, is it? Yeah, so we have different types of actions. Here it was a window action, so I can maybe have a look at this one. And the admin has access to all of it, but was it a window action? Here, action. Yeah, it's a window action. So maybe that's what I can do, because here we have a group, but also here we have access to all of it. I will click read, I don't have access. I will restore this one. Now quotes still available, and if I go there, oh, not on the model. Yeah, action I cannot. So it's fun in a way. I don't have access to the action, but I could. I cannot see the form view of it, but here apparently I have access to it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to load the quote. So there must be something inside Odoo that makes it possible for me to to see it, even though I don't have access to it. So maybe it's through the menu item. There must be a logical explanation to this, because usually those are the kind of things that you don't want to mess with the access rights. So what's the name of our window action again? Action window, tell me, yeah. I just want to find quickly the place where it's located. That is not correct. Oops. I will make a quick filter on Python. Okay, where is it located? I'm not sure I will find what I'm looking for there. But maybe here we talk about a UI menu. Let me check. Okay. I'm just checking if... I know it's in the mail module. I was just checking if there was a possibility that through the menu item we give you access to the action. I'm going to have access to the place where it's located, base module, your menu. Your actions, that's maybe where we are going to find it. Do we have access, write something? No, that's for server actions, blah blah blah. I don't know, to be honest. This one is a mystery to me. As I was saying, there's always a logical explanation, but this one I don't have it. Unique actions, when we remove an action. Compute available models. No, I'm curious about why we would see it or not. Definitely I don't have the answer to this one. There must be a logical reason, but I cannot explain why we can see this action, because I think that there are lots of other actions for which this behavior works. One way of checking this, I think, would be, let me check. I'm thinking about the reports. Are reports actions? Yeah, action reports. And this one, I think, however, that this one works. So I'm going on the sale order, PDF quote, and this one I'm going to say visibility, and I'm going to say package again. Yeah, okay. And going back to my quotes, refreshing, if I go there, yeah, I don't have the other one. I have quotation order, but I don't have the other one. If I remove it, let's have a look. If I remove this one, I think I will see several ones. Ah, I am wrong. So let's try again. Same database, yes. I removed the PDF quote privilege stuff. I saved, yes. Yeah, okay, PDF quote. So that is it. It works on the report action type, but it doesn't work on the window action, apparently. So there must be something here or after that would give you access to it. Just giving a last check. No, read. I'm checking, do we have something here, because we have maybe the possibility to read it, whatever. So that is not super frequent, but we redefine how to read stuff. So it could be that here we are going to give access whatever is the read access rights. I'm just checking here it is done. This blah blah no. No, that's maybe through this, but I'm not sure. So it's a good question for which I don't have the answer, even though we found a few things along the way, but I'm not sure. So I prefer not to confirm that. And I will be moving to the next question for the last 30 minutes that we have. Do we still have customize the view that's available for public based on my own model? So on YouTube, we have one that says, how can I customize a view that is available for public based on from my own model? Or can I also create a custom view web page based on my model that will be available on the portal? Different ways. Usually, those kind of things, I think it's better to get some inspiration of what Odoo does already in standard. Knowing that if you create your own model, you can create new pages around it, but it's complicated to do it on the SaaS. I can give you an example. Maybe I'm going to start Studio and I will create my my own model. I'm going to reuse something that we do during the onboarding of our partners. I'm going to create a quick thing that is an animal shelter application. And in that application, I'm going to create a concept of what is an animal. So let's go here. Let's create a new app. Let's call it animal shelter. All right, and I'm going to create animal. That is my new model. Okay, we create it. We say, and you have nothing about the website here, I think. I'm going to say we want pipeline stage picture, and that is it. Okay, I'm creating my own application, and so we'll have at the moment only one model here, and I can say it's a tiger. Okay, we have an animal. It is here. And if I want to show that online, I will need to go on the website. And let's say I want to show all of the current animals that we have for adoption. I would need to go and create a new page. You see here a new page, or maybe a new, do we have? No, a new page. I was thinking about a new form, but no, I'm going to use a new blank page. And we say that we are going to show our new animals in the shelter. I will add it to the menu, so it's very, very long. And we see here if I cannot add a form. Is there a place? Usually there was a place where we could filter, but I'm not sure. Form, yeah, contact and forms. Do we have another place? Yeah, I think, yeah, form, that's here. So here, you see that when I create a form, if I click on submit, you see what it does. It sends an email. But can I create something more? You see more models here. I would say I would like to create an animal. So there, I would have some fields that I can add at the bottom. Where can I add a field? Submit, yeah, plus field here. And I would say, let's put some text for the name field. But I would like to use some that already exist. You see at the beginning you have custom fields, but I would like to use existing ones. So I'm going to use the name. Where is it? Or it's display name? Description? Okay. And that's it. Let's just save it that way. If I'm putting something here, I click on submit. Thank you. And what it does is that in the backend, here in my animal shelter, then I have my new thing I just created now. However, while that works for creation, we don't have anything to change the information that we submitted. You cannot open something and wish to change information inside. And when you have a look at this, I'm going to open a new demo environment to show you that there are not that many places where you can change existing information. It's not done on purpose, it's just that it's more complicated than it looks. If I go on the website here, you'll see that you can go on the shop, you can add stuff here, add to cart, but you don't change it directly on the view. You just click on buttons and it adds things in a workflow, and then I can go there and eventually remove stuff. But it's not a form that I can reopen and change. There are not that many places where we have this. Even on the jobs, I think that if you go there, what you do if you click on apply now is that you are going to create new job applications. And here this one is linked to another model that is the HR applicant, I think that it is. And it's going to create new records like that. But this kind of form where you have lots of controls, you know, things with a quick icon here, that is, I don't think it's possible to do on the SaaS just with Studio and with the editor of the website. I think that for this one, you need to go for your extra development and create a module on your own. And maybe you can explore that together to give you a few pointers to where to go. If you go back on Odoo, you will see that in the add-ons, this one should be website HR something, or HR website. HR website, no, let me check. It's recruitment, yes. Website HR, yes, recruitment. So that is where we go, and this module, if you have a look at the manifest, it inherits recruitment, okay? So it works based on the models you define somewhere else. And we say, okay, but if you want to also have some pages that you load that fetch that information and show it to the client, that is how you do it. Usually you say, okay, the page that is /jobs, so let's have a look, /jobs, this one, the /jobs page, Odoo goes here and it says, okay, /jobs, that's what I should do. And at the very end of those kind of controller pages, they send, oh, that is long. Oh, it's still the same function? Yeah, it's a long one. Okay. At the very end, it does what? It returns something. It returns information here and page that you want to render. So this is the XML ID of the page, XML definition of the page that you are going to show, and this is the information that you want to put. So you have layout on one side with placeholders and the variables that you want to use and put in that placeholder. And that is how you need to do it on your side. If you have a new customized model, you need to create such kind of controllers to be able to call the models and the records of that model, show them on the screen, and when you click on buttons, perform other actions. That on the SaaS, it's maybe technically doable through lots of adaptations, but it will be complex. I would say that's the kind of thing for which you should go on Odoo SH and create your own modules that have a proper controller. I don't think that advising you any other way would be good. Another one on LinkedIn this time. Now I setting to mass import the translation of e-commerce description product from Swedish to English. I prepared and cleaned my CSV file. The file is imported without errors, but no translation added. I will need to see your file, but one quick way of doing this is the following. By the way, I think that you remember I was mentioning this file with the import. I think that the translation is covered in the import here. But let's have a look at this. You remind me of a thing that we need to show one day during the show if it's not there in my video. But let's do this. If you want, on your side, it's the description. Wait a sec, because maybe the description is a bit different. Because the name, let's start with the name and we'll see the description. Let's go here. You see I'm not in multi-language, so I'm going to add a new language, and I'm going to add French. Sorry for you guys, but you can hear it. I'm pretty sure that I'm a French-speaking person, so just doing this so that we have a second language, and I'm going to close this one. All right. Now that we have several languages, if I go in my product and I say bomb product, I can translate that and say this one is not a bomb, it is a nomenclature product, and I should say this. But of course, this one, if I save, I'm changing this and the translation. Let's go back here, change my profile. Let's move back to French, and let's save. If I go back to this and I'm refreshing, now we have this one. All right, good. But what about the translation of the other ones? Like, if I want to translate this one, let's go here. I'm going to export them. And if I say it will be a CSV or even an Excel, I can change the name. And that is it. You will see what it does. I'm going here and I'm saying that, okay, in French, it should be different. What could it be in French? Matière première. Yes, and we call it one. Oops, one there, and we do the same for the second one, and we say it will be number 2. Let's save and let's re-import and see what it does. Don't worry, I will change very soon the language so that you are not with this. Okay, we have this. If I test, all right, it works. Let's import and let's go back here. Product. I didn't create something new, but I have this one now that has a translation, and it is keeping the original one, and that's what you could do to change the translation. Now I think that if I have a look at the e-commerce description, I think that this one is more complex. I think I succeeded in doing that, but not through the same way. Let's have a look at how we would do that. So I have the e-commerce here, right? Not sure. I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, e-commerce. I'm going to add it so that we have the same field. And I think the difficulty is that it's HTML. So we'll do the same, and we'll see if it works or not. That is maybe going to keep us busy, because if it doesn't work, I think we are going to go through a lot of tests. Going back here, products. So, yeah, let's go here. Let's create some e-commerce description. Yeah, sorry, I'm going back to English so that you are not lost with French. All right. Here says e-commerce description, and let's say, all right, this is some English text. Saving this, of course, put the same potential value here. Going to do that, go back to my product, and let's try to change again to French, export, and see what it says. So again, sorry, changing the language. Let's go back here. I don't remember. I did it on raw material 1. Yes, raw material 1. So it's the only one I will export so far. Raw material 1. Let's export, and this time say we want still to re-import after, but I want to do it with the website description. Meta description. Where is it? Is it meta description? I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. Description for the website. I think that's the one. Okay, let's export. Let's reopen it. Nope, that's not it. Or, that's maybe it, but I exported the French value. Let's have a look. I will open it in another one so that it keeps my language setting differentiated, and I don't need to always go here. Raw material 1. Let's export the same information this time, but description, e-commerce description. That's maybe it. Wait, let's see. Yeah, all right. So that's what we have. Description e-commerce, and what was the other one? Website description. Okay, it's not the same. Good to know. Okay, and both are HTML fields. As you can see, we have a bit of div stuff here. Okay, let's try to see how I can change that into something different. So I'm going to reuse that here and say that this one was the original website description, and I'm going to say something here, changing the content, saying here some French blah blah. Okay, let's try to re-import this one and see what Odoo says. If I remember well, that is more complicated than it looks. So do we have our French blah blah? Here, let's test. Am I with the right file? Because I imported, no, it's not the one here, that's the one I want. Yes, I have the original one, that is what I want. Testing, at least no error. Let's now import. And I'm stupid, I did it in English. I should have changed the language first. That is not good. yeah, so we have some French blabla, but now it did for both. Let me go back to the initial situation. Oops. I will save this one. Going back to my import, upload my file. This one. Yes, test, import. Am I back to my initial thing? Yes, some English text. Let's move now with someone that would be in French. Do I have French somewhere? Nope. My initial ID failed miserably. Let's go back French. Okay, product. Now I'm back in French. I have this one here that I want to re-import, and let's see what it says. I need to change this. I will select the second one, so there, again, right there. And if I test it, it says okay, I have my French blabla. And if I import it, I have French blabla. But yeah, that is it. It changes also the initial stuff, while before it was okay. And this one, I don't remember how I solved it last time. I know I did, but I don't remember how. It's been a long time. I wonder if it was not a partner request that sent us that. I'm going to have a quick look to our own project management here, just to be sure on my side if I cannot find a place where I replied that already with translation. So one moment, because maybe having a look at my previous tickets, it would help me find that. No, I'm not going to give it a long shot here if I cannot find directly the website translation. No, I couldn't find very quickly the ticket, so I prefer not to make you lose time not having a look at what I'm doing. I wonder if we cannot do something different with the export feature. Parameters. Yes, that is fun. I locked myself out of the action window because I don't have access to it anymore. So I hope I can I can solve it. Otherwise, yeah, good. So I really need to change this. Otherwise, I won't be able to. Yeah. That is a nightmare. Could I save it? Because I locked myself out of it. No, it's good. So you saw, maybe I'm going to explain that. With the changes I made previously with the Act window, I couldn't have access to the parameters anymore. So I had to go through the shortcut here just so that I could find the rule that I changed and go back to the initial status that was allowing me to read the window action. Okay, so there's another feature that you have in terms of translation that is here, English languages, and you have import and export. And I think that if you go and you say export CSV file, you can export model, and I'm going to export the product models. Is it product and product template? Let me check. This one is a product template. Okay. I'm going to export all of them, and I wonder if I won't have some extra information there. I have a CSV file here. I have the source, value, comments. But there it's only the name. I don't have description here. Description e-commerce. Some French blah blah. Okay, so that is it. Let's read that file together. Here we see that I have some templates where I have the French, and I could have the value here. that is translated. So let's move this here and put there English blah blah, or let's say English. So alright, saving this one. Let's see if it would work in terms of re-importing. So that's fr, code fr. Let's upload my file. Let's see if this would work. I'm not completely convinced by it because I think it was more complex than this last time. Right here says, no, I still have some French blah blah over there. So it's not giving me the result I expect. Let's have a look at the file. Here's the source. Comment CSV file. Okay. But I think it was close to this thing. We have translation, source value. I think I should maybe do it differently. I will go back here to my English, so I'm still in English here. Yeah, I'm going to force it back to the English value here. Okay, and of course here French I don't have any value. I'm going back here. I'm going to redo that, but I need the translation updated. So let's go here. Let's export again. In French, my CSV model product template. Okay, everything all right. Yes, I have my file. This is the one. And what I want to change is this and put a value here. It would be French. Okay, I can copy paste this one in my former file that was here. Doesn't change anything, but at least I have exactly the same source, which is usually how Odoo finds how to change that. So let's retry. If it doesn't work, I will come back with an answer to this next week because I know that's something that is quite bothering. Let's say language name, just fr. I need to check if it's the right French translation because it could be also that I'm not loading the right translation, but it's, yeah, local code is fr, ISO code. I don't know if it expects the ISO or the local code. ISO language. Okay, so it's this one. Correct, huh? fr, yes. Good. File overwrite. I'm going to select this one. Was it the number 2 that I wanted? Number 2, yes. Import. Let's have a look at my products. English. French, yes. Good. If I go back now, here and change, so that worked in the end. Going back here, French, good. So that is working. Do it that way. Knowing that on my side, so I had to use a CSV export, which is not giving you the exact same logic as a regular import-export, where you change the language, then you re-import, it's okay. With multi-line text, or HTML, I think that you need to go from here, export, and then re-import in CSV file as well. But then the format is a bit stranger because you see you have, that is what you need, that kind of line with the field, so that you have the model name, comma field name, then here it's model terms instead of something else, and then that's the resource ID, source in English, value in French. That is how you should have it, and that is a good one, in fact, because I know it's a bit more complicated to translate. Okay, what else do we have for the next 5 to 10 minutes? YouTube, how to integrate Odoo with Dynamics to send balance sheets for each company, of each company to the holding company. Aha. Lots of development involved, or at least importing manually. 2 solutions. I will start with the importing, even though I doubt this would work. Well, this would work theoretically, but it will be complicated to re-import it because usually the data model is not exactly the same. Let's have a look at what we have in terms of accounting. So do I have accounting or invoicing here? Just invoicing. So let's change that and let's add the accounting module. What it will do is that I will have access to my balance sheet and or other reporting document. I don't know if it was giving me an error. I didn't pay attention to the message. Did I receive an error? I'm in French again. Sorry guys. Let's go back here to English. Accounting, good. All right, so now I think that I don't have any documents, so I will create a new invoice very quickly so that I have at least something to mention. Yes, at least I have one line in my balance sheet and I will have some amount that is here. Good. So what you can do is that you can export in Excel, and from that Excel you will try to find how to send that information. But usually in Odoo, as in Dynamics, I suppose, you don't export reports. In order to re-import, you export what are the components that make the report in the end. So what you are going to export are journal entries. You select the journal entries of one specific year or several years. You export, and you will need date number, yes. You would need here also the lines with debit and credit. So lines, you would need not invoice lines, not other lines, account move lines here, and the account. So account name maybe. Yeah, potentially amount in currency. What else do we need? Lots of things actually. Currency, credit here, date, debit. So you select what you need. I'm going to export that. And you need to find a way to re-import this one. Let's zoom in. You need to find a way to re-import this one into your other software. So that would be a first step, re-importing stuff. If you say, I just need the report, then I don't see the point, because you are not going to export a report, or then you take it in PDF and you just re-import the PDF and you check the information. But yeah, that's rather how I would do it, re-importing accounting information. Now it's weird to talk about importing balance sheet, because if it's only the balance sheet you are interested in, just check in a different software and don't lose your time exporting, importing information. Now, if you say, no, but I'm interested in the accounting being sent from one place to another, that makes more sense, but it's more complicated in terms of data, because you have invoices every day, you have journal entries every day that are created. You could do something that would be an integration, but then it's development. Every time you create or every time you validate a new entry, you send it to Odoo or to Dynamics, depending on because we didn't discuss the direction you want it. Otherwise, if it's once in a while, create an export template, export the information, and re-import it from one place to another. A good way to do this would be to have those potential safeguards. I guess that when you want to do this, you don't need to have it, if it's for reporting purpose like balance sheet, you would need to wait for log dates, so that you take all the entries before a specific log dates, because you know that they are not going to change. You select them, you go here, export, you reuse the template that you created earlier, and it's always the same template that you have outside of Odoo. Then you create scripts on your side, or you are good at managing Excel, and you transform one data model of Odoo to the data model that is needed on the other side, and that's what you would do for importing on Dynamics. Another question, I think it would be the end after. We have a question on LinkedIn. Say again?
Do you want me to scroll?
No, it's okay. LinkedIn says, did Odoo compliance with HIPAA, so Health and Insurance Portability and Accountability Act? I don't know, because I don't know what it means. I suppose yes, because there's no reason someone can have access to your information on your database. You can block or support from accessing it. So, is it an act? Where is it located? This one. Is it something in the US, that act, or is it in the UK? UK security compliance? No, sorry, I clicked on it, this one. I don't know if it's in the UK. I was thinking about where is data hosted. So this can be answered positively. Then comes a place where data is stored. Just a reminder. On the SaaS, it's on OVH. On Odoo SH, it's Google Cloud. So you need to check if those are accepted in terms of hosting. But on our side, there's no reason why we would go against this, what is being done here. We don't have a certification that prove it, but based on the name, I think it's okay. All right. It's 11:30. Time to say goodbye already. But we see each other in 2 weeks. I think next week is the other Antoine, continuing on the other questions. And thanks a lot, because I think we had quite a few good ones today. It was interesting, at least to me. So yeah, and you are back with lots of demand. Yeah, cool. See you next week, guys. And again, thank you for participating, asking me lots of questions, and allowing me to continue discovering Odoo. I really love it. Hope you enjoyed it as well. See you next week or in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.